What's up, guys? I'm back with another movie review. Today I'm here to talk about one from Synapse Films, and it is Unearthed and Untold, The Path to Pet Sematary. So this is a feature-length documentary about the making of Pet Sematary. It goes all the way back to King's inspiration for the book, kind of his road to getting it written and then getting it published. The issues that the eventual producers ran into in adapting the book into a script and then into a movie. It sounds like it actually only came about because of a writer's strike, which is interesting given how popular the movie turned out to be. It's interesting that it was so hard for them to get it made. And it follows through the pre-production, through the actual making of the movie, the experiences of the cast and crew, and then eventually, the cultural impact that it's had, after its release. I really like this movie. I think it's really cool. I think it's got a lot more insight than you might expect. Some of these documentaries are just kind of surface level, or they're not really behind the scenes, so to speak. It's just kind of like fans or a few snippets from cast and crew members. This is a really in-depth piece. It combines just numerous cast and crew interviews, like all kinds of people share their perspectives and their memories on the shoot here, as well as their reactions to the movie. That stars Mary Lambert, the director, is all over this thing. It's got a bunch of the locals who ended up getting jobs, either as actors or on the production crew. So it's got a lot of varied kind of outlooks and viewpoints on the production, which I think is really cool. But it's also got a lot of actual archival footage from the set, from the actual shoot. That includes special effects footage, some home movie style shots of Stephen King interacting with some of the locals. It's got a bunch of footage of the area, updates on the locations, what they look like now. There's a lot of stuff here. What I really like about it is that it does give you that behind the scenes, but it also feels very personal. Especially the locals, when they share their stories about the movie, it wasn't oh, I worked on this cool movie. You can tell that it really impacted them, and the experience of working on the movie and the experience of having their community involved in it, especially when the real Pet Sematary, was fairly close to where the movie was made. It's just really interesting to get that super personal take on it, especially dealing with some of the issues that came about because of the things that happened to the kid in the movie. It was, with the little casket and the, all that kind of stuff. Hearing these personal stories about how it affected them was really cool, and I thought it added a lot to the documentary. It's really well made. It's really well edited. It's got a nice kind of fluid narrative to it, so it's not just various things sewn together. This is put together in a way that makes sense, keeps your attention, and I think it's even rewatchable. It's something that even if you're not a big horror fan, or even if you're not a fan of Pet Sematary, but if you have an interest in how films are made and the creative processes involved, this is one that you should definitely check out. The Blu-rays from Severin Films, or no, I'm sorry, not from Severin Films, from Synapse Films. It's got 2 audio commentary tracks, alternate scenes, a bunch of bonus featurettes and interviews. It's a really stacked disc. The transfer looks good, but as you can imagine, since it's a documentary that involves various sources and the footage is of different ages and sources, it's kind of a mixed bag, but that's unavoidable. And I think for what it is, it looks fine. I had no issues with the video or audio quality on this whatsoever, and it's clearly a stacked disc. So I think it's definitely worth it. Like I said, anybody who has an interest in how movies are made or just the creative things that are involved in it, I would definitely check out Unearthed and Untold, The Path to Pet Sematary. It's extremely watchable, really engaging, and just super interesting. If you want to read my full write-up of the movie, you can go to markfusion.com and check that out. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon for $5 a month, get exclusive content. I'm also on Letterboxd at Mark Fusion if you want to see what I've been watching and what might be showing up here on the channel soon. But the best way you can help me out, as always, just to hit that sub button. Free, easy, direct way to support me and help me to continue to make content. And also going back and watching some of the old videos. I've got a bunch of Synapse reviews up, as well as some from their Impulse Pictures imprint. So if you check those out, that really helps me out. So I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching this. Unearthed and Untold. Oh, it's also got a reversible cover if you want to see the other side of it. I just dropped the disc. There's the alternate cover of the burial ground. Alright, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon.